Hello and welcome. It's been a little while, and unfortunately, I caught a strike on YouTube for something I did 15 years ago where I was juggling knives. I was a legal adult, never saying anyone else should try this, never saying, that this is something that should catch on, but I caught 1 to 2 strikes. I appealed both, and only one um, got overturned. So I've had to kind of wait on putting out more material, but I've still been trying to be active, trying to get stuff done. Uh, Also, unfortunately, during the work from these two videos, I actually caught poison ivy on both my arms all the way up and down. So, with that, here's what I've been doing. So, it's full on summer at this point. We're at the end of June, well, the middle of June here, and there's just a lot of brush and everything, and great spots for ticks to catch onto you. The creek is rather dry here, not completely dry, but it's not great. And the video is back to doing this weird uh, semi slow motion thing. But yeah, creek not completely dry, but not great. Um, the weeds here are about up to above the knee. I've cleared a lot of it though. As you can see, there is a bit of a path. There's some mint, which I'll be holding on to help deter pests. I actually tuck it into the back of my bits here. I have a cap when I'm wearing this, so it just gets tucked into the back of it. This date is wrong. I don't know how to fix this. um, but as we go through, this is showing that path that like I had worked on a little bit, but there was a little deer there. Let me see if I can catch the moment. I forgot how many animals I saw on this. Yep. Just like right through there, it scampered away.
Hello dear.
So, yeah, there was a lot of deer recently that I've been accidentally running into, but oh well. I've been making nice spots, so it makes sense that they'd been bed down there. Yeah, this is amazing the difference a few weeks make. Just how green everything is, how tall all the weeds are, how oppressive it is to walk through here with the poison oak all throughout the trees, poison ivy all throughout the ground. It's a problem, but I'm glad the work I'm doing is making it less of a problem. It's really been a great project. Just have this new avenue even feels great. Even though, like, I really do need to find a better space and way to drain out this bog because I think I lost my shoe in here one time even. So it's not great, but it goes to show the importance of sleeves, though. As stuff will brush past you, brush by you, you're just kind of like getting stuff out of your way, not realizing that you're exposing yourself to these situations. So I'm also not wearing gloves here, which I should be doing. But I'm just trying to be in the moment, doing something, getting out there, trying to do this once a week. And it's been pretty consistent. I'm really glad I've been able to like get out there and do it all the same. But I actually get a good show. Oh, that's actually a really good demonstration here. One sec. So when you have a stick like this, it's great to like bend it down till it breaks and then push upwards to continue the peel. That will get you so much further in breaking some of the more pliable branches. Lovely. When I learned that trick online somewhere and I've been using it since. It's fantastic. Can 100% show that it works, even on things like grapevines or other vines that are generally not one to break. So this forested area that has been cleaned up a bit is growing in again. Just stuff getting in the way. It just seems better to answer that it's happening there and then. Um, as oftentimes I'm not thinking about it when I'm just walking through. I'm more apt and able to just kind of duck and dip out of the way. Whereas when I've got the camera, I'm trying to have steady, like measured pace and not like disrupt, not like be all over the place. So I also feel like in these moments, there are times where I'm walking and muscle memory alone is getting me through, as the path is not exactly noticeable with the ground cover anymore. Whereas even a week or two back from this, you could see a definitive trail. Now with the greenery, very little. The wild onions or scallions are in full bloom, and I actually pick one here or there and just take a bite and toss. It's lovely to have good little snacks on the trail when you know they exist. Feel bad for all the frogs. All of the water drying up. It's probably a problem for them, but I figure they probably move with the water and like find themselves downstream, different puddles and ponds that appear in the deeper spots of the creek. But there's just a ton of poison ivy through here. So I start planning on uh, taking out a lot of this because there's just so much brush, and I've got the tools to do so. I absolutely get in here and clear a lot of this. It's going to be a little different. The next video, I come back through the opposite way that I usually take, but all the same, you can start seeing some of the pathing that gets done. This is going to be one of the best like before and after situations because I do a ton of clearing except for this space because fuck this space. It's all so I have not gotten back here yet. That might be my plan for today, is to go through and just tear through all of this. ivy and thorns and just tear it all up, get it all out. It's just a pain in my ass. And it absolutely gets skipped in the next portion. So don't go looking for it because nothing has changed. Um, so I had started to do some of the cutting on this path, I believe, bringing the brush down to a more reasonable level, but that's further up. It's also kind of a shame when I don't remember where this path starts and end up retracing my steps a little bit too far. I really do need to better define that area. It goes back to that thing I've said before on having the right tool for the job in your inventory when you're doing it. So if I come through here with the saw, I'm not going to be able to take care of a lot of the brush. I come through with the hand scythe, I'm not going to be able to take care of any of the bigger branches or logs that have fallen or anything like that. If I bring the axe, I can't deal with any of the brush or the small things easily. It's a lot of work to use a big axe on a small branch. But hatchet is great for that. So it's all about finding the right tool for the job and having a plan on which tool you intend to use. So I think I started brush shopping through here. Hard to say. No, not yet. That's next time. There's just so much green. There's a toad there. It's kind of hard to... Yeah, there we are. So... I'm always a big fan of finding a toad. Recently watching through Mother 3, and it was so weird that they use them for their save points. But it is always a nice little surprise when you see a toad just hopping about through your path, especially. They jump rather higher than you'd expect and rather further than you'd expect. They are quite fast, and it's always impressive. Like, encountering any creature in the wild is just impressive and unexpected. Even though I live in a forested area, it's kind of rare to have a encounter with a creature. Like, I'll see bunnies and they'll run away, and I'll see deer and they'll run away, and see the frogs and the toads and they jump into the water and swim away. But actually engaging with a creature the way you would do a pet or anything doesn't happen. I mean, sometimes you have to yell at the chipmunks or squirrels to stop chittering at each other because they get so annoying. But the pathing here, has started at least, I believe. But there's just so much, and it's Tick City. This is how you get ticks. Is walking through something like this, they crawl up your pants, and they find a spot. Hope it's not on your back. That's all I can say. It's just there's the best method that I've taken to is after you go out on a walk like this, you have to strip down completely, check yourself and wash the clothes. Like, there's not a whole lot that you can do otherwise. It's so much, and there's just so many large ends for them to stand on as they do. So I'm getting back to the start, and we'll start up the second video in a touch. But yeah, just all brush all the time, and you'll see the difference coming soon. There is still creek at this point, but not in the next video. Yeah, so here's some of the cutting I've been doing. It worked out really well. Really happy with how it turns out. But yeah, whew, not great. There's sticks. I think I end up carrying a bunch of sticks back, but it's not looking great for water level, and this space has been just kind of taken over. And I'm cool with this space getting taken over by like these different things. So one moment while I prepare the next video. Up, up. All right, getting better at that. So here we are, a week later, and this is I think the 28th. So as you can see, instantly, I have done a lot of work in this week. The brush in the path is visibly lower than brush out of the path, but the creek is completely dried up. There is no creek. All of this is cut down. The mushroom here has visibly wilted. Just complete gravel. Honestly, it'd be a great time to walk the creek, and that might be a better plan for the day. If the creek isn't running, it's a nice time to clear any debris and get through and into spots. Relocate some of the spots where it's leaking out into other places. But for whatever reason, I feel like I notice halfway through I'm on the wrong path. I go exactly back the way we came. So you can kind of see here. Also, literally anyone knows how to stop that jerking in the camera, I would love to know. But all of this is dramatically easier to walk through now. They're legitimate pathing. It's still a bit rough on the sides, but that's to be expected. So, yeah, I show that this way is nice and clear now. All of this is very defined path, and I have big feelings about very defined path. I really prefer to just be able to explore wherever the hell I want. And the thorn bushes, poison ivy, poison oak, and poison sumac stop that. It's been suggested that I should get goats, and while a lovely idea, I would need a space for them in the winter. Like, I'm not going to put something into a situation where it won't be well taken care of. So I am toying with the idea of goats, though. Like, that would be great to have something that's just naturally eating all of this rather than just cutting it and hopefully reinforcing the ground, probably planting more. So, doing major improvements on the path as far as the debris on the ground. Um, like looking at this versus a couple of weeks ago would look very different, or wouldn't look very different because this pathing is so clear. Whereas the previous video, it was very obvious that all of this stuff was like up to my knees and it was kind of trotting through. Whereas now I have more defined path, which I'll take. It's not great to be stuck on rails, but that's okay. When you can actually traverse and get into these spaces, that's the big goal. That's what matters. So that's what I'm doing. I'm working hard at making it so there's muscle memory in summer to not go into the woods, which is seems counterintuitive, but with all of the skin irritants, the poison ivy and everything, ticks, it's really a bad time to go and possibly put yourself in danger that you're going to, catch diseases from ticks. It's not great. This really does make the world a difference. I've done so much work. And I actually think it's really important to look the opposite direction of the way you're used to walking. You get some different perspective on how things look. Um, and especially for people who are just watching these videos, you get more perspective on like what a more 3D space looks like. So here we've crossed the creek back over and we're walking this way through the cleared paths. And it's kind of obvious if you're looking where the path is, but not incredibly so. Um, it's rather impressive how it doesn't come through on the video just how much was cut and how different this space actually is when you're in person looking at it. It's always baffling to me when you don't when what you see doesn't show up on camera. Much like the moon or fireworks, it's such a different experience that things can't quite be captured. So it's always important to remember that with personal image as well. Not everyone sees things the same way. So even if you don't think you are look that great or feel that great about yourself or your body, there's someone who does. There's someone out there who is cool with your body. At the same time, I think you should be striving for the best body that you can, but your body will adapt to whatever environment you put it into. So by putting myself into this environment, I think I'm trying to be some sort of elf or possibly, I don't know, but my arms are rather strong from doing a lot of this cutting and work, carrying sticks. My legs are fucking huge. Problematic for any pants that I wear. Absolutely have giant holes in the thighs. That's not great when you're exposing yourself to stuff like this. So for a lot of this work, that's probably pretty good to get into. I wear gloves and raincoat is best ultimately, but if you can't, sleeves at least. Make sure your skin is covered. Uh, Snow pants actually work really well. especially if you just wear them as themselves. Like you get that swishy kind of space to work in them. It gives a better clearance, especially when working in thorns. Um, major cutting here. This is honestly a lot of fun to work through and get all this cleared out and kind of like brain paths like that I cleared through. This is all better. It's cleared into there. It's nice. It's good to get through and like here it's very visible that like this space versus this space, what's been cleared and what hasn't. But it's so much. There's always so much to do. And I actually traverse back this way and show just how overgrown things have gotten. Like there isn't a way forward there anymore. So I kind of like work back through here, and this is all like almost up to my hip at this point. This is all sticky grass, that scratchy kind of stuff. Um, yeah, it's a lot. I just decided to take a walk through the creek here to like advance, just so I don't have to go through that much tall grass. It's so much. It's unreasonable and completely a thing that gets kind of overlooked in games, I guess. Like just how debilitating tall grass can be. And I feel like that's where lawn mowing came from. Like this whole concept of like minimizing ticks and making sure that stuff didn't get onto your skin. Whereas it's changed in its measure and its need. Whereas people have kind of ignored wild spaces. It's less important for the average person and more important for this kind of a space, especially living in a space with deer ticks and that whole thing being so prevalent. I've forgotten the name and completely blanked, and that happens. But the diseases that ticks have can be permanent, can make you allergic to meat, and have lifelong effects. Lyme disease, that's it. Um, so be careful out there. Have a great day. Be sure to get out there. And I think I know what I'm going to be doing today. So I will see you all next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, whole thing on YouTube. Be sure to follow me on Twitch. And until next time, everyone, stay wild.